Hey, welcome to another episode of The Spit Take, which is, shockingly, the best name we came up with for this show.
Every time
You're listening to Mad City off of the album Good Kid, Mad City. And speaking of recordings of real life, more violent and terrifying and impressive than any action movie, this episode is about
Sergeant, put the stress that weighing on your brain. It was me, El Boogie, yeah, YG Lucky, ride down Rose Transit, got ugly, waving your hand out the window, check yourself. Warriors and Conans, hope euphoria can slow dance with society. The driver seat, the first one to get killed.
Back in February, Russian dashboard cameras recorded a 10-ton shard of heaven screaming to earth like a blazing shower of unholy prophecy. You might remember it as the time the entire internet shit itself, but we at Cracked will always remember it as the day we found out that everyone in Russia is robots. The closest thing we get to a reaction is this drama queen in the second video who stops channel surfing, which suggests that he was at least distracted by the blinding angel of judgment screaming towards his face. But then he remembers to make a right turn and you realize he probably just needed the free hand to give God the finger. If you're wondering why so many Russian cars have dash cams while quietly hoping for a rational or even just vaguely humanizing answer, get ready to be bitterly disappointed. According to Al Jazeera, Russian motorists use the cameras to crack down on police corruption and ensure that justice is served. So the reason we have these videos of Russia being so much tougher than us in the first place, also the inciting incident for most Steven Seagal movies. For anyone who believes that Russians are only tough when they've got 3,000 pounds of metal wrapped around them, we present this action hero, walking to work wearing customary attire for Russian businessmen. Of course, American business attire would probably be more maneuverable if they had to miraculously avoid speeding cars as frequently as this guy clearly does. We're not sure what's more terrifying, the fact that he barely loses a step on his way to wherever he's going, or the gentleman who leaps out of the still-rolling hatchback and runs off in the opposite direction. What's going on in that car, Russia?
Warriors and Conans, hope euphoria can slow dance with.
Meanwhile, in China, this man pedals a giant tricycle through a massive intersection. He doesn't slow down, he doesn't swerve, doesn't do anything to alter his trajectory in any way as the world explodes around him like an inception dream. Because, like the old Chinese proverb says, look both ways, or don't, but then like really don't. When this guy spots two purse snatchers racing towards him on a motorcycle, he calmly steps off his bike and throws it at their chest in one fluid motion without a moment's hesitation. You have to admire the way he strolls towards the motorcycle purse snatcher sculpture he just planted on the street like, well, I'll just grab that and be on my way. But he soon becomes acutely aware that he's completely out of bicycles to throw at them and runs away, leaving the criminals to get away. Oh wait, no, they're free to get attacked by another random onlooker because China is apparently one big roving tag team fistfight. And now let's take a look at a crazy lady in Brazil beating the shit out of some guy's car with a hammer. Look at her go. She is beating that Honda like a carnival game. Notice the small crowd filming and watching her with their arms folded like it's a golf tournament or something. The woman actually appears to be the only person on the scene who realizes she's committing a crime, not putting on a sexy car wash. She speed walks away and drops the deadly weapon to her side like Michael Corleone, but everyone else is just applauding and catcalling, and nobody even seems to consider the option of calling the cops, which seems strange until you realize the cops in Brazil are like a hit squad from a 1980s action movie. They keep the peace with the same shoot everything until it stops moving tactics that made Dirty Harry and the T-1000 so effective at stopping crime. Hey, and speaking of the T-1000, the Brazilian police appear to have one. This car chase pins a motorcycle cop against a bus, and he just like ditches the bike and starts running and firing bullets into the car in one smooth motion that technically should not be possible if you don't have a liquid metal exoskeleton. Of course, there are plenty of Brazilian cops who rely on old-fashioned police work, which they define as anything that happens in Point Break or the Fast and the Furious franchise. And here we see them using their not at all sinister black helicopter to block traffic on the interstate. And Jesus Christ, they just totally shot a guy who was running away from a helicopter. Doesn't seem like self-defense. Imagine the terror you'd feel witnessing a fellow human being get machine gunned by the very organization tasked with ensuring your safety. Well, in Brazil, that shit is considered hilarious. Hey, have fun at the 2014 World Cup and 2016 Olympics, everyone.
Bodies on top of bodies, IVs on top of IVs, obviously the